What if the first nuclear war didn't happen in 1945, but thousands of years ago? What if ancient texts, radioactive ruins, and unexplained anomalies across the globe are not just relics of primitive civilizations, but echoes of an apocalyptic war that wiped entire cities from the face of the earth? Tonight, we open a door that most historians would rather keep shut. A door that leads to one of the most controversial conspiracy theories in human history, that our ancient ancestors once possessed terrifyingly advanced technology and used it to destroy each other. This is the theory of ancient nuclear wars. In the deserts of Rajasthan, India, there lies a city that has baffled archaeologists for decades, Mohenjo-Daro. Once a thriving metropolis of the Indus Valley civilization, it was mysteriously abandoned around 1900 BCE. No signs of natural disaster, no conclusive evidence of invasion, but what they did find is chilling. Skeletons scattered in the streets, as if death came instantly. Buildings melted and fused. And most disturbing of all, traces of radiation, levels higher than what would naturally occur in the environment. Some bodies had radiation levels similar to those found in victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Streets vitrified, as if exposed to extreme heat. What caused it? The mainstream explanation? Coincidence. Unusual geological activity. Natural weathering. But others believe something far more sinister took place. Now let's turn to ancient texts. The Mahabharata, one of India's oldest and most sacred epics, describes a war of gods and kings with terrifying detail. One passage reads, "A single projectile charged with all the power of the universe, an incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 10,000 suns. It was an unknown weapon, an iron thunderbolt, a gigantic messenger of death. People's hair and nails fell out. Food was contaminated. Birds turned white. Radiation sickness, described thousands of years before we even had the vocabulary to define it." The texts go on to describe flying machines called Vimanas, armed with weapons capable of leveling entire cities. Myth or misunderstood memory. And India isn't alone. In the Middle East, cities like Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah were said to have been destroyed by fire from the sky. Brimstone, as described in religious texts. But what if brimstone was code for something else? Something that burned not only flesh, but the very earth? In Egypt, evidence shows that large structures may have been cut with precision that rivals modern laser tools. In Israel, the Dead Sea region contains ancient sites with a thin layer of radioactive ash embedded in the soil. Coincidence after coincidence. Let's look to South America. In Bolivia, there is Pumapunku, a site with perfectly cut andesite blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, assembled with precision engineers still struggle to explain. Was this simply ingenuity with stone tools? Or the remnants of a civilization with technology lost to time? There are even ancient roads, miles long, that lead nowhere. Cities buried under desert sands. Strange skeletal remains with elongated skulls, charred bones, and warped DNA. And then there's the vitrification of stone fortresses in Scotland, Turkey, and parts of the Middle East, where entire walls appear to have been melted by extreme heat. Not fire, not lava, but something else. Some say this isn't evidence of ancient humans with nuclear weapons, but survivors of a civilization that came before us. One that destroyed itself in a war so violent, so absolute, that it wiped all memory of its existence. And what we now call myths and religion are distorted fragments of a cataclysmic past. Could we be the second or even third version of intelligent civilization on this planet? But why would this truth be hidden? Because if it were known that humans once destroyed themselves with nuclear war thousands of years ago, what would that mean for today? Governments, religions, scientific institutions, all depend on a linear version of history, one that puts us at the peak of progress. But if history is cyclical, if we've risen and fallen before, then the warnings from the past are more than legend. They are prophecy. So now I ask you, were these ancient cities simply victims of time, or casualties of forgotten war? Were the flying machines, energy weapons, and gods from the sky symbols of divinity, or misunderstood technology from a lost age? Let us know what you believe in the comments, because maybe the greatest threat to humanity isn't in our future. Maybe we've already survived it once before.